fifth pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, and I'm back with another video. And as y'all can clearly see on the screen, man, we have LeBron James, man, the man from Akron, Ohio, LeBron James, and we're here to see what type of performance he would have if he were to play in the NFL. Of course, we have him on the Cleveland Browns because that's his hometown team, and we have him at tight end because me personally, that's the position I think he'd play if he were to go to the NFL. So let's go ahead and look at his overview. We have his accurate height and weight at 6'8", 249 pounds, and then his age doesn't really matter, and then his college, none of that stuff actually matters. And then, so let's go ahead and take a look at these stats. So I gave him a 92 speed, 95 catching. All his blocking stats are low, very low, because if he were to be in the NFL, like as of currently to this day, I don't believe that he has the capability or the skill to just go out there and block. 99 awareness, that doesn't matter. His short route running, I got it at 84. Medium route running, I have it at 83. And then deep route running, I have it a little bit lower than the other two at 73 overall. And then his acceleration is a 90. Catching traffic, 92. And then spec catch, man, 99. At 6'8", bro, I believe LeBron is, you feel me, topping everybody, like pause. But I believe he's snagging over everybody. We got 88 break tackle. And then as far as the secondary attributes, we got 90 stiff arm, 90 carrying, 91 change of direction, 96 spin move, 78 juke move, 70 ball carry vision, 99 injury, 99 stamina, 99 toughness, and then I skipped over 71 trucking. And so yeah, so let's go ahead and hop into it. All right, y'all. Now here we are at midway through the season, man. We got the Browns going 2-5, so clearly LeBron is not doing too much help for Baker Mayfield. We might have to switch the Brown scheme just to get him a little more involved. So let's go ahead and look at these stats though. See how well he's performing compared to all the other guys and all the other tight ends in the league right now. So Baker Mayfield's throwing 1,800 yards, 17 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 63% on 238 attempts, 150 completions. Let's go ahead and take a look at LeBron. What is he doing? All right, so LeBron has 382 yards. He's averaging 13 yards per reception, 54 yards per game with 3 touchdowns, which isn't bad. So he's not having that bad of a season. He's just not having a super great season. Let's go ahead over to the whole entire NFL, and then we can go ahead and take a look. We're just going to scroll until we find the first tight end when it comes to yards. Let's see if he's the top one. So no, he's not the top tight end in the league. We got Gronk at number 1 with 541 yards with 5 touchdowns. Let's continue to scroll. So we find another one. We got Jared Cook with 455. And then we got Everett, Hunter Henry right there. Then we got Kelsey, Fant, Andrews, Ingram. So he's behind a lot of tight ends, but this is only the halfway point. We got Darren Waller right here. And then here goes finally LeBron right here with 382 yards. So with this being the halfway point of the season, he can find a way to turn this whole season around and move up as far as the tight end list. He's obviously not going to be at the top of the list as far as receivers, just because how this game works. They're going to throw to the receivers obviously more times than the tight ends, no matter who their tight end is. 9 times out of 10, they're throwing to the receiver. Even Pringle has the most yards on the Chiefs. That's just how the game works. But as far as the tight end goes, he is very low. Well, not very low, but he's like the bottom of the top half of the tight ends in the league when it comes to yards so far. But hopefully he can turn around this season. He has 139 yards run after catch, and his longest reception is 75 yards, which is pretty great for a tight end. A 75-yard touchdown is wild. And so, yeah, so let's go ahead and send him to the playoffs and see how he finishes off his season. Oh, man. So let's go ahead and look at LeBron's progression over the season. He started out as an 89 overall. Now we have him here at a 93 overall over the course of one season. Obviously, if he continued to play more seasons, he will continue to improve. But as far as right now, he's the number 4th ranked tight end within the whole league with 62 morale. Let's look at his next gen stats. So he had 101 targets and 71 catches which is amazing. Catch rate, and then 315 yards after the catch. Let's go ahead and look into these stats. And by the way, the Browns ended up not making the playoffs. They went 8-9, and yeah, so they didn't make the playoffs. So let's go ahead and head over to these stats and stuff like that. First, we're gonna see if he won any awards, any weekly awards, at all this season over the course of the season. So let's go ahead and scroll through these right quick. He does play in the AFC, by the way. So it's not looking too good. So Baker Mayfield did get it twice, but LeBron did not get any Player of the Weeks. Doubt he's up here for any yearly awards. Okay, so let's go ahead and head over to the receiving yards. So he's the third best receiver according to receiving yards with 930. Jarvis Landry and Donovan Peoples-Jones ended up being the top two receivers, which makes sense because they are wide receivers versus LeBron, who is at the tight end position. LeBron ended up having the second most touchdowns on his team with 11 touchdowns, which is probably the highest in the league for tight ends. But Jarvis Landry found a way to get himself 13 touchdowns as the number one option. Let's go ahead and look at LeBron's stat compared to the whole entire NFL. And by the way, we're only looking at tight ends. We're not worried about receivers. We're looking at LeBron compared to other tight ends. So boom. So let's go ahead and scroll down until we find the tight end. Okay, so the first tight end we see for yards, number one in yards for tight ends is Rob Gronkowski. He was the number one tight end at the midway point, and he still is with 10 touchdowns on the season. Let's keep scrolling until we find some more tight ends. We got Jared Cook as well, who's also there at the midway point in the season. He only found a way to get 7 touchdowns, and LeBron is above both of them in touchdowns. And then we got George Kittle with 1,000-yard season as well, only 5 tutties. Keep scrolling. We got Darren Waller, 6 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Travis Kelce, 995 yards on 11 touchdowns. First tight end to have the same amount of tutties as LeBron. Keep scrolling. We got Hunter Henry, who continued to have a great season. He had 972 yards on 7 touchdowns. Let's keep going. All right, now we finally have Gerald Everett and LeBron James. So basically what I'm seeing from the season is that LeBron wasn't able to pass any of the tight ends ahead of him as far as yards wise. He did find a way to get the most touchdowns from a tight end as far as we've seen. But as far as these yards go, everybody who was above him at the midway point is still above him now at the end of the season, now that we're at playoffs. So let's go ahead and see if he's actually the number one touchdown tight end. See if he has that crown. So go ahead, go to 11. Okay, so yeah, so it ended up being Travis Kelce and LeBron tied for the most touchdowns as a tight end. So LeBron's season was very, very great. Not as great as I expected it to be, because as we all know, if LeBron were to be put in the NFL today, he'd probably do like 1,000+ yards for sure. 11 touchdowns is pretty accurate though. Amazing season though from LeBron. This was a great test to see how good LeBron would do. Y'all got to see his production, how well he improved over the seasons. He ended up not being the guy to push the Browns over the edge to get them in the playoffs, but all in all, he still had an amazing season with 930 yards, only 77 receptions, averaging 54 yards per game and 11 touchdowns, which is, I think he's tied for 3rd or 4th in the league. Yeah. So he tied for 4th for touchdowns in the NFL, and then tied for 1st out of tight ends only. And then he had way less receptions than Travis Kelce did, and still found a way to almost have the same amount of yards as him as well. So all in all, great season from him. And yeah, so that's the cap of the video right there. If y'all enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. If y'all want to see more NBA players in the NFL, make sure y'all comment them down below, and I got y'all. Make sure y'all sub up if you're new to the channel. Turn that post notification bell so you can get notified every single time I post. And it's your boy Bean, and I'm out.
Jump in the coupe and go top speed. I can't believe that they crossed me. Young nigga be sounding like